So someone is not on mute. Cliff, I would recommend that you talk to a admin, IT admin, which is Daniel. So with that said, I want to start the session. Good morning, everyone, to our first session of day 3 in Hub 8, the EIC Hub, and welcome to our today's e-pitching session on breakthrough COVID-19 solutions. My name is Jan Bandler, and I work for the EIC Business Acceleration Services team as Investor Relation Managers, and I'm your Master of Ceremonies today. I also want to welcome Michael from our Partner Wolf Summit and also Diana from our EIC representative side. Today we are talking about a virus that has kept the world in suspense for about 9 months. At the beginning of this week, about 31.6 million people worldwide were infected with the virus. More than 970,000 died from it. The virus also hits us hard on the economic side. Companies go bankrupt, people lose their jobs, innovations fall by the wayside. Last but not least, the social contacts that are so necessary in times of crisis. Yeah, thank you. Are also massively restricted, and nobody knows how long this virus will keep us on our toes and how long this world will look like after Corona. Also, for this reason, I'm very blessed to see so many people with us to discover 6 companies who have declared war on the coronavirus. They all have developed great processes and or technologies, either to prevent infection with the virus or to cure those who are suffering from the virus. And I thank all of you for your great commitment and great ideas. I also want to welcome our investor jury today. We have 9 investor jury members from different countries across Europe. Thank you for joining, and I will introduce all of you in a minute. Before that, I want just a quick reminder about the rules for the session. Only our companies, investor jury members and speakers have the opportunity to use their microphone and camera. However, I want to ask all of you to stay muted until your presentation. For the investors, please unmute yourself only if you have a question during the Q&A session. There will be 6 companies presented to you by their management for 4 minutes each, followed by 4 minutes of Q&A by our investor jury members. I will be keeping the time for everyone, and I need to cut off sharp today. The order of presentation was selected by random order. Instead of unmuting yourself, you can also place your questions. Can you please unmute yourself? Stop the video.
So far we've found
no videos here, and please don't play with the slides as long as I'm doing the presentation, because otherwise my presentation is cut off. Okay, again, instead of unmuting yourself, you can also place your questions during the Q&A in the Q&A session of the chat. In this case, we will reread your questions.
So far,
as
we've
long
found
as
that this
time
has been
allows.
the most time-efficient way to
And last but not
raise
least,
money.
do let me know if something is not working for you. Can you please stop the video? Thank you. At the end of the session, we will have a winner's ceremony where all of today's participants can vote for their favorite pitch. For this reason, I will open a poll at the end. I ask our active jury members not to take part in this poll, but send me a ranking in decreasing order, beginning with your favorite pitch, either via private chat or email. The winner of today's e-pitching is the company that receives the most votes from our jury members and the audience. The winner will receive a prize from our Partner Wolf Summit, which will be announced at the end, and a dissemination opportunity via the EIC community. I now share a quick poll for you to see who are you joining from. So please do the poll right now so you can already test for the final vote. And as I already said, after our session today, we will also have one-to-one meetings between our presenting companies and our investor jury. Some of the jury members already have scheduled some one-to-one meetings. However, if you see an interesting company pitching today you want to meet afterwards, please let me, Marcia, or Diana know via chat, and we will schedule a one-to-one meeting with you and the company you would like to see. We will start with the one-to-one meetings from 12 p.m. and we will provide you with a separate link for the one-to-one meetings after this session. Each one-to-one meeting can be up to 30 minutes, and we will prepare the schedule after this session today. So now let me quickly introduce our investor jury today. For this, I would like to ask our investor jury members to turn your camera on. Okay, so I see cameras are coming, so let me start the introduction. Our first investment firm today is Capricorn Venture Partners, an independent manager of private and quoted equity funds that invests in minority shareholding positions of innovative companies, including the Capricorn Health Tech Fund, which focuses on human health technology investments. Capricorn is represented by Antoine Hollander today. Welcome and thank you for joining, Antoine. Our second company today is Panakes Partners, which derived from Panacea, the goddess of universal remedy. I want to welcome you today, a venture capital investor that finances medical companies, early stage startups, and SMEs with extremely promising products and great ambition in Europe and Israel. Welcome to the jury, Diana Saraceni. Let's also welcome Kurma Partners, a key European player in the financing of innovation in healthcare and biotechnology, from pre-seed to growth capital, notably so Kurma Bio Fund 1 and 2 and Kurma Diagnostics, as well as via strategic partnership with prestigious European research and medical institutions. Happy to have you here again, Amin Marouf. Our fourth investor joining today is Mustard Seed. Mustard Seed is a principal investor in world-class early-stage businesses that generate compelling financial and social returns. Welcome to our session today, Manuel Antunes. Our fifth investor today is Seroba Life Sciences. Seroba is a leading European life sciences venture capital firm focused on value creation through backing winning innovations in biotech and medtech. Also happy to have you here today, Bruno Montanari. The next jury member we have today is Industrifonden. Industrifonden is an early stage venture capital fund based in Sweden. They have a reach across the Nordics, and they are looking for transformative ventures that define the industries of tomorrow. Welcome to the pitching competition, Patrick Sobocki. Next one on our jury is Ysios Capital. Ysios Capital is a leading Spanish independent venture capital firm that provides private equity financing to early and mid-stage human healthcare and life science companies. Today we have Raul Martin Ruiz with us, who is a partner at ICS and has developed his career in the pharmaceutical industry, in corporate business development and commercial operations, as well as ICE Capital as a leading independent Spanish life science venture capital firm. Prior to joining Ysios, he developed his career in the pharmaceutical industry in corporate businesses development and commercial operations. Initially, he was trained as a researcher. Welcome to the session today, Raul. Our eighth company is the Hightech Grunderfonds from Germany. HTGF is the venture capital investor for innovative technologies and business models. 35 investors, 115 exits and IPOs, 590 investments, and a fund volume of 895 million euro. Welcome to Germany, Stefan Fassbender. Last but not least, let me introduce you Sofinnova Partners. Sofinnova Partners is a leading European venture capital firm specialized in life sciences. Based in Paris, with offices in London and Milan, the firm brings together a team of over 40 professionals from all over Europe, the US, and Asia. It has backed over 500 companies over 5 decades, creating market leaders around the globe. Today, Sofinnova Partners has over €2 billion under management. Welcome to our jury, Thomas Bird. So again, thank you very much for joining, all to our investor jury members. You can now turn off your camera again. Mute yourself for the moment. I'm happy to have you all here and looking forward for your questions during the Q&A later. And now let's directly move over to the pitching competition and our 6 promising companies you can see here. Welcome to Advitas, Omnispirant, Context Flow, Lenio Biome, Trace Analytics, and Raspinova. I will not introduce them separately, as you will see each company presenting a 4 minutes pitch, and I will ask our investor jury to use the 3 minutes Q&A session to ask short and precise questions. The first company you will now see presenting is Advitas GmbH. Bernhard, can you please unmute yourself and start sharing your screen? Or who is presenting for Advitas?
It's Catherine. Catherine is presenting.
Catherine, is it you? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I shared
so you can now start sharing your screen. Hi, Catherine.
I shared it.
Okay. So we can see your screen, Catherine.
It says to me it's loading.
You just let me know when you're ready. Okay, we can already see it actually.
Okay, then I can see it, but okay, then I will just start, right?
Okay, yeah, let me know when you're ready. Then you have 4 minutes to present. I will announce the last minutes and I have to cut off you at the last minute, after 4 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And in case, I'm not sure whether, because with me it's loading, so I'm not sure, yeah, whether the forward of the slides will work. Do the investors have the PDF to see the slides?
You can also, I can also share for you, and then you just present.
To me, that actually looks better because I have a. Okay, then I'm sorry for this inconvenience, but I'm afraid that because to me it's loading, and I would rather you share the slides. And
so I share my slides now.
Okay.
Is it still loading for you?
Yeah, but I will just tell you when you put the next slide, right? And then we'll just start. Should we do that like that?
Okay,
you see the, I guess you see the title slide?
Yes, we can see the title slide.
Okay, then I will just start and I will let you know when next slide, okay?
Okay, 4 minutes from now.
Then I start. Okay, so 9 out of 10 COVID-19 patients on ventilators die. The adverse therapy reduces that number to 5 out of 10. Adverse is a novel blood purification device supporting 4 organs at once. Next slide. Before COVID-19, 60% of the patients dying on the intensive care unit died due to multi-organ failure. That is more than 500,000 dead patients in Western Europe and the US alone per year. And the coronavirus outbreak is drastically increasing this number. In ventilated COVID-19 patients, mortality is as high as 90%. Single failure of lung, liver, or kidney already at least doubles the normal mortality. It increases above 75% when all 3 cleansing organs are involved. Clinical experience shows that COVID-19 not only affects lungs, but also the kidney, the liver, and the heart. Next slide. Leading global medtech players focus on single organ support. All these therapies were developed 25 years ago, before 1995. Currently, patients are connected to 2, 3, up to 4 devices to support each organ individually. The use of multiple devices means more prep time, more connecting time, and more alarms. This results in high complexity, high cost, and risk of fatal errors. Next slide. Our ADVAS device is designed to solve these problems by integrating kidney, liver, and lung support, as well as blood pH correction in one device and based on one technology. Next slide. We are the technology leader in the individual removals of liver and kidney toxins and the direct removal of acid to correct blood pH. 50% of the ventilated patients on the ICU have dangerously low blood pH levels, which is further accelerating multi-organ failure, and it is also seen in COVID-19 patients. To further enhance our competitive advantage, the integration of fluid-based blood oxygenation and AI-based user assistance is currently under development till 2023. Next slide. We have already shown that our ADVAS therapy works. The patients treated in our studies were severely ill with only a 10 to 20% chance to survive. Treatment with our ADVAS device increased the survival up to 50%. These results were also confirmed in COVID-19 patients. Next slide. We have started market entry in Germany with currently 20 hospitals as customers and more than 1,000 commercially treated patients so far, and revenues of 2 million euros in 2019. Next slide. To avoid lengthy budget negotiations, we apply a pay-per-use model. So we don't sell the devices, but our treatment sets for 1,900 euros to the hospitals, as the hospitals receive a reimbursement of 2,600 euros per treatment. They can apply our therapy cost effectively. Next slide. We expect to reach revenues of 66 million euros in 2024 with a large upside potential, given the fact that we are only scratching the surface of the overall market potential of 3.1 billion euros. Next slide. Our team of now 55 employees covers all aspects necessary to further develop and market the ADVAS device. And the management team has the proven track record and is well equipped to realize the planned scale-up. Next slide. So we have proven the business case. However, to foster hockey stick in sales, we look for a lead investor to raise 20 million euros. 75% of them will be used to accelerate market penetration and expansion. Based on our detailed plan for international market expansion, clinical marketing studies, and our R&D pipeline, we expect to reach break-even in 2023 with 35 million euros in revenue. From the beginning on, we involved clinical experts in the design and clinical investigation of our ADVAS therapy. They are convinced that ADVAS is the most promising therapy for multi-organ failure patients worldwide. So please invest to help us save lives in Germany, Europe, and all over the world.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Very well done. So I now want to give the floor to our investor jury members to ask questions to the presenter. Please now unmute yourself, but only the investor jury members. Ask a question or write to the Q&A chat. Please have in mind that we only have 3 minutes sharp, so please be short and precise. And I also ask you, Catherine, that you answer really as short as possible. I will do a hard stop after 3 minutes. So any questions from our investor?
Diana Saraceni here. A quick one. Could you expand a little bit on the advantages of having an integrated solution? I mean, why the survival rate increased that much with with the integration itself? What are the medical reasons why it has to be this way?
So it's not only our innovation is not only that we integrated in one technology, but also that we have the best liver support, and also the blood pH correction is actually very crucial, and why many doctors now really started to use our device, because at the moment you need to add bicarbonate to blood to increase the blood pH level, and that is metabolized to CO2 and has to be removed by the lung, which is usually the lung in about 80% of patients on the intensive care unit. The lung is already damaged, so this is an additional burden. So that is why one is that we really have this very unique solution to remove the acid from the blood directly. And also we are the technology leader in removing protein-bound toxins from the blood, liver support. So it's not only the combination, but also that we are better.
Okay. Here to you, Diana. Okay, any further question? I have one from Patrick. I will read it. So Patrick from Industrifonden is asking, can you please elaborate on how you plan to get market access when you expand with your product outside of Germany? What are key priority markets? What are reimbursement routes? And please all first mute yourself.
Okay, I didn't understand it correctly. It was disrupted, but what I understood was what countries you want to expand into. Okay, so we started in Germany, of course, due to language reasons. We started also with contacts in Austria and Switzerland, and then we have, we did a complete market study regarding reimbursement in Europe, and that is why we also enter in France and Belgium and the Netherlands, exactly due to the reimbursement situation there.
Okay. Thank you. We have 30 seconds left. One last short question.
Hi, this is Amin from Kurma. Can you tell us the performance of your device, please, compared to competition?
The preference?
Yeah, in terms of monitoring of patients, monitoring of key features, you know?
Yeah, the key features are that all the other devices, they only focus on one organ, and they only can either remove kidney toxins or liver toxins, or they remove CO2 or support the lung. And we can combine all that together. And we also have a higher efficacy in removing the toxins based on our technology, the filter technology. We don't, as we remove it with, our filters do not saturate because we filter the toxins out. We have also an increased efficacy.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
Catherine, sorry for stopping. We need to stop here. Thanks for answering the questions. If you have further questions now, please write it via direct chat to Catherine. Thank you. And please, all of you, mute yourself. And I now want to hand it over to Omnispirant, to Gary McCauley. Gary, can you try to share your screen by start sharing screen? Gary, can you hear us? Gary? Patrick, I think you are not muted. Can you mute yourself?
If Gary cannot hear us, maybe in the next compounding you can start.
Okay, Gary, can you try to fix your issues? And we will hear your presentation later. I will then hand it over to Context Flow. Context Flow, Julie or Marcus? Can you unmute yourself?
I am unmuted. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello. We cannot see you.
Can you?
We don't see you, but we hear you.
Julie, Marcus? So someone is sharing. Julie, are you here? Can you hear us? So we can see the presentation, but we can't hear you.
Julie, can you write on the chat or on Q&A if you have problems?
Julie, can you say or write anything?
Shall we maybe move to next and then we'll go back to this one?
Yeah, okay. Then we move over to Linio Bio. Linio Bio, Roberto, can you share your screen and unmute your mic?
I'm unmuting my mic now. Can you hear me?
Roberto?
Can you hear me? I have
yes, we
unmuted
can
my
hear
mic.
you. Can you start sharing your screen?
Yes, I have uploaded a presentation.
Yes.
I think when due to I think in due to the system is very slow. So let's use the PDF file that I uploaded. That is better. Yeah, correct.
Can you
yes,
see it?
I can see it.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready, and then you have 4 minutes to pitch.
Yes. Okay.
Are you ready?
Just
okay. 4 minutes from now. Good luck.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. I want to present today our fast and scalable solutions for current and future threats. My name is Roberto Martis, and I'm the founder and CEO of Linio Bio. Linio Bio was founded in 2016, and our seed round and EIC grant in 2019 accelerated our growth towards a team of 24 people. Next page, please. Time and time again, we have been surprised by a pandemic, and every time this happens, individual society will suffer from the fast consequences of our unpreparedness. We don't know what will hit us, but we know we will not be able to control it, and Linio Bio is working on solutions to be ready for the next pandemic. Next, please. What do we need to be ready? We need to have the next level of pandemic preparedness platform to halt pandemic at a very early stage. And we need 3 things out of this platform. It needs to be fast, faster than anything available today, flexible, capable in addressing all kinds of viruses, and it needs to be ready to go. Alice, our protein production platform, can deliver on this need, and I want to show you how. Next page, please. Fast. To really move fast, we need to be able to identify and optimize potential candidates much faster than the current cycles. We are developing an AI-assisted discovery cycle on synthesized DNA to shorten the feedback loop tenfold. This disruptive capability has already been recognized by leading companies and institutions. Next page, please. Flexible. One platform capable in addressing all kinds of viruses. Alice is nothing else than the concentrated protein production machinery of the living cell, capable in producing within 24 hours or less all proteins needed for the development of diagnostics, vaccines, antivirals, and therapies. Next, please. Next page, please. Go back one more. Go back one. Yeah. Here is an example of our unfair performance of Alice in producing a virus-like particle against the industry standard. Next page, please. Ready to go. We are developing an integrated technology platform that is ready to go for antivirals and vaccine development and production. Already, being able to leverage on the experience of SARS-1, Moderna went from DNA sequence to clinical trial within 62 days. Linear Bio aimed to have clinical trial materials available within 30 days. Next page, please. We are seeking in cooperation with SAPI and the EIC, the certification as a pandemic preparedness platform. To validate our platform, we are already in advanced discussion to join a consortium with an antiviral peptide already in clinical trials and showing very promising results. We are seeking 8 to 10 million to accelerate our scaling and make the platform ready to go into clinical phase 1. The co-investors in the consortium are the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and our seed investors. We have combined, next page please. We have combined a lifetime of experience in pharma, drug development, and business development in a rapid growing team, supported by a very distinguished and engaged scientific advisory board. Next page, please. We thank you for this opportunity and we hope we can work with you. That's it.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Very well done. I now want to give the floor again to our jury members. If you have questions to Roberto, and I see the first one is already coming in from Thomas from Sofinnova. He's asking, what are the key advantages of cell-free versus traditional recombinant mammalian bacterial cell culture?
The key advantages are it is faster. You can produce the product within hours or days. It is linear scalability. That means that you are bypassing the complete time-consuming cell engineering that you need to do. That is costing a lot of time in developing your proteins. It has high yield. It has the same mammalian post-translation glycosylation it has the same post-translation glycosylation as mammalian. And one of the key things is that you can produce everything on site. So you are not connected anymore where you're producing the cells. Our lysate, you can ship it already everywhere where you need it, where you can produce at the point of care or at the point of use. These are couple of the examples.
Okay, thank you, Roberto. A second question is coming from Stefan from HTGF regarding timelines. Aren't the clinical and the preclinical studies the bigger problem?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Regarding timelines, Stefan from HTGF is asking, aren't the clinical and preclinical studies the bigger problem?
Not in case of a pandemic. In case of a pandemic, the clinical and the I think he is referring to the timeline. Yes, the preclinical and the clinical are indeed the most time consuming parts, but going from the discovery part towards the preclinical part, there has to be a lot of cell line development. Yeah, and we think that we can cut down a development time, whether it is now 10 to 12 years to 3 years, to less than 3 years.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then the next one is coming from Patrick from Industrifonden. First of all, great presentation, Roberto. Can you please share more details how you will further validate your product and how specific evidence will target regulatory and payer hurdles in your key markets?
Ricardo, are you there? I have our Chief Technology Officer here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, but I don't hear the questions. I can only hear Roberto talking.
Oh no, then I will answer them. For regulatory approval, we are already in advanced discussion with the regulatory approvals, and for validation our technology, actually, we are in contact with all the leading biotech companies. I think the top 10 biotech companies are already customers of ours, or we are producing proteins for them, or are they using our system already in development. And at this moment, we are in discussion indeed with some companies that are willing to license the technology or willing to use the technology at larger scale to produce our vaccine of therapeutic products. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, thank you, Roberto. I need to stop here. 3 minutes Q&A is over. If any of the investors have additional questions, you can reach out to Roberto via direct chat or let me know, and then we will schedule one-to-one meetings this afternoon. Thank you very much, Roberto, and I will hand it over directly to Trace Analytics GmbH. I will ask Wolfgang if he can unmute yourself and if you can share the screen. Wolfgang, we can see you.
Yes, okay. Can you see me?
We can hear you also. Yes.
Okay, so where's my presentation?
Can you find it?
It is under slides.
Yes, I have it on the slides and
under slides. Yes, here.
Okay.
Here it is. So Wolfgang, let me know when you're ready, and then you have 4 minutes to pitch.
Okay. How can I switch this to full screen?
We can do it ourselves, each of us.
Okay.
Okay. 4 minutes from now.
Yes.
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Wolfgang Künnecke. I'm the CEO of Trace Analytics, and I want to introduce an interesting investment opportunity called ContiTrace, which is enabling automated blood glucose management in intensive care. So why is this needed? Still, the death rate in the ICU is much too high. So 8% of the people are dying there, and the mortality increases up to 20% if the stay exceeds 5 days, as we have dramatically seen in the pandemic. This mortality could be reduced almost half if intensive insulin treatment is done. Now I lose my slides, sorry. Someone else playing with the slides?
Doesn't look like. Do you want me to share the screen and then you just move forward?
Yes, please, would be helpful.
Okay, give me a second. So here we go. You want to have which slide?
Intensive insulin treatment could be helpful in this respect to reduce almost the death rate a half. And what do you need to do for that is you need to control the blood glucose to keep it in a safe level and to avoid the frequent fluctuations. This is very laborious treatment from the nurses. So the nurse has to take blood from the patient, analyze it, wait for the result, decide on the new infusion, maybe refer to the doctor, and then do the treatment. Next slide, please. And an automated system would be ideal for that, like our ContiTrace that does this procedure within 2 minutes. So there's more time for the patient, and we can have this automated control to have a better treatment. Next slide, please. There's no wonder that the big medical companies tried to offer products for this purpose, but all of them failed. And that is due to the missing body access. So the clinicians, they don't want to have some extra sensors being inserted in the body or special catheters. They need a universal body access. And we invented a microdialysis sampling technology, an inverted one, that it can be done with a Luer lock. And the Luer is a connector that is universal in all body accesses in the treatment. Additional advantages of our system are glucose and lactate measurement, decision support, and it's fully self-operational, self-calibrating. Next slide, please. The product looks like an infusion pump. It is one device is needed per ICU bed, about 9,000 euro in price. And you need a consumable sensor set with a patented Luer connector and our biosensors, which are doing the measurements. These need to be replaced every 4 days, but this is routine in intensive care with all infusion sets. System is patented, and we have shown clinical use in 100 patients. Next slide, please. Why is it possible for us? Because we do this since 15 years in the biotech industry, monitoring and controlling glucose and lactate, And we need 3.5 million to transfer this into a medtech device with a market that is very exciting, with 150,000 beds in worldwide pre-COVID and 14 million patients treated annually. Next slide, please. We are an experienced management team with a strong clinical support and a sound industrial network. Next slide, please. We ask for the 3.5 million euros we need for a 2-year project to transfer the product into the medical market as a registered medical device and perform the market entry. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang. Very well done. Very good timing. Thanks to you. Let's stop sharing your presentation, and I want to ask our investor jury members for any questions to Wolfgang. Either unmute yourself or put it to the chat, either to the private the Q&A chat, or unmute yourself. So investors, you have 3 minutes from now. So Patrick, Industrifonden is asking, thanks for your presentation. Can you speak to how you are preparing yourself for the coming regulatory pathway with MDR in Europe?
Oh, so this is not a problem since we have to do the full registration anyway. There is no problem with this new MDR. The only portion is that, of course, this new regulation and the change in the system maybe gives some delays to registrations. That is, I think, the only risk in our project, a possible delay because we have the notified body not available.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Let me look. We have something in the public chat from Thomas. Thomas from Sofinnova, thanks for the presentation. How does this compare to infrared non-invasive based methods of blood glucose measurement?
So our glucose measurement is based on a biosensor that has a direct contact between the molecule you target for and not just a spectroscopical image. And glucose spectroscopical image is in the tissue everywhere, in polymers. And even in biotechnology, people are trying to do this non-invasive measurement, and it is not possible. It is too unspecific. It needs a lot of training. It needs very intensive apparatus. So it's not an alternative. The standard in glucose monitoring in blood is enzymatic testing, and we have automated this, and our biosensors use enzyme components.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Antoine from Capricorn. First of all, great presentation. Could you elaborate a bit more on the clinical proof to have the patient's glucose level between certain levels so that the survival rate is higher in ICU?
This study that I cited showed that controlling the blood level is advantageous. So these are clinical. It's clinical knowledge, clinical demand, also the fluctuation stuff. But the people do not even know now exactly which level is the best level or which level for which person, because they are not able to perform this tight measurement for the moment. So that is something that there will be outcomes that show more precise data. But it is clear that this is very, very vital parameter, same as for lactate for sepsis and reinfarction that we measure as well. So this is an important parameter, and but nobody can measure it at this level so far.
Okay, thank you very much, Wolfgang. Time is over. Thanks for presenting. Thank you for answering the questions. Also, thank you to the jury for asking. I now need to get a quick overview about the people here. So next on my list would be Sofinnova. Cliff, do you have solved your technical problems? Cliff, can you hear us? Sofinnova? So Cliff, we can't hear you. So let's give the others the chance from earlier. Omnispire and Gary, do you have solved your technical problems? Can you unmute yourself? Gary? What about Julie from Context Flow? Can you unmute yourself, Julie, that we can hear you?
Can you hear me now?
I won't let you share my mic.
Can you hear me now? I think there's just a really big delay with every button I click. I'm trying to speak.
Julie, can you speak?
I am speaking.
We hear you.
No, okay. I think you're unmuted.
We hear you and we see the presentation.
Okay, good. I guess you'll advance the slides.
Can you hear Julie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, and we can hear Julie.
Can you not hear me?
We hear you.
I can't hear Julie.
Okay.
So you hear Julie? So Julie, okay. If you can hear Julie, I can give you 4 minutes. So Julie, as soon as you start off the first page, I will take 4 minutes and will announce the last minute.
Guide me when to change the pages.
Julie, you can go ahead now.
I'm sorry, who is changing the slides for me?
It will be me, Diana.
Okay, good. Thank you. So again, my name is Julie Sufana. I'm Chief Marketing Officer at Context Flow, and let's begin. Next slide. 45,000. Please to the next slide, actually. 45,000, no, go back. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of animations. 45,000 is actually the number of images a single radiologist is responsible for interpreting every single day. Next. And that's really problematic. So that number is continually increasing. Next. Which is really unfortunate given the global radiologist shortage. Next. And what's making matters even worse is new treatments require more complex diagnoses. Next. So that means radiologists often spend now upwards of 20 minutes just searching for information to help with one case. Next. So when combined, that's a recipe for delays, missed findings, and high overtime expense. Next. So that's why Context Flow has developed an AI backbone to transform radiology workflows from beginning to end. For the sake of time today, I'm going to focus on our core technology, which is search. Next slide. That's a 3D image-based search engine, and it's really designed to help save time when diagnosing difficult cases. Next. So it's currently being utilized for lung CTs, and it looks for 19 disease patterns, including those related to COVID-19. And on the left, you can see we provide the overall percentage of lung volume affected by specific patterns, as well as heat maps that show the distribution of where these are located. Next. In the middle, these are reference cases from thousands of other patients. Next. Which really allows the radiologist to compare and contrast their current patient to thousands of others within the knowledge base, and that helps them build trust in the tool. Here you can see we also link you to medical information, reference information, that's necessary for differential diagnosis and training purposes. Next. Literally putting everything a radiologist would need to solve these tricky cases in one place and available to them within seconds. In relation to COVID-19, so we already had the ability to detect those patterns prior to the pandemic. So in the last few months, we simply developed a light version of the product to specifically look for those and only those. We also, sorry, go back, please. We also developed an automated PDF report. So basically that's the main task of radiologists, is to come up with a report at the end of the day for each patient. And that way, anything that's related to COVID-19 will automatically get attached to the rest of their reporting. Next. So we are in a high growth market with a compound annual growth rate of over 30%, expected to reach 2 billion by 2023. So that does mean there are a lot of players entering our domain. Next. But what really sets us apart is we take a very different approach, searching for many findings at once. Next. Our AI is incredibly flexible. It works for any type of organ or type of scan. Next. And most importantly, radiologists actually like us because we help them solve these difficult cases while leaving them in the driver's seat. Next. So our future business model includes direct sales to hospitals and clinics. We focus on recurring revenue there, as well as integrations with PACS providers. Please go back. These are the software systems that store medical images in hospitals, and we already have 4 of those integrations complete, representing 1/4 of the European market. Next. Now I did just say future business model because on the left you can see we have 10 proofs of concept that we're currently undergoing, expected to complete in the next few months. The first product version of Search is CE marked. We're working towards FDA approval. And the real USP barrier to entry is that we have a knowledge base consisting of 75,000 annotated regions of interest from 8,000 lung CTs. Yeah, so I know I'm going over, thanks because of the slides. Our Vienna-based team includes leading AI and medical imaging experts with over 40 years of experience. And last slide. Basically, we're in a position right now where we're starting our Series A, and that's expected to complete at the end of Q1 next year. And those funds are used towards FDA approval, continuing to scale towards the US in particular, and increasing our abilities from not just lung CTs, but also to include brain MRIs. And with that, I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Julie. Very well done. I ask our investor jury members to start sharing questions, and I think the first one is already coming again from Patrick from Industrifonden. Thanks for the presentation, Julie. We see a number of AI applications in the imaging field. Can you speak to your key differentiators and in what disease areas you have your key strengths? Can you hear Julie? Can you hear Julie? Can anyone hear Julie?
No.
Yes, Julie, we obviously can't hear you. So maybe you type your answer to the chat. Okay, unfortunately, we can't hear you. So if you have further questions, please write it to Julie and she will answer. As we really have technical problems here, I will definitely offer all companies and all investors who are interested in meeting one of the companies to set up a meeting outside. So just reach out to me and I will do my very best to get you connected. However, I will then try again to move over to Cliff, who told me that he dialed in by phone so that Sofinnova can share their presentation.
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes, Cliff, we can hear you.
Ah, super, finally. Okay. The phone, always good to go back to old school. If you could share my slides, I'd be happy to start. Super.
That's working too.
All right.
So, Cliff, let me know when you're ready, then you have 4 minutes. You're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
4 minutes.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cliff Ansell, and I'm the CEO of Sofinnova. Next slide, please. We're all looking for new treatments for COVID, but investing in COVID therapies has risk. What happens to your investment when one of the vaccines kicks in? At Sofinnova, we're treating COVID lungs not just during the pandemic, but also the millions who will be left with residual lung problems long after a vaccine. Next slide, please. And we are protecting your investment by simultaneously solving one of the most vexing problems in medicine, COPD, or chronic obstructive lung disease. COPD is a group of chronic lung diseases that affects over 350 million patients worldwide and is the third leading cause of death. We spend over $200 billion treating it every year. Next slide, please. In COPD, sometimes the large upper airways get constricted, which restricts airflow, but more often, COPD is characterized by the complete collapse of smaller airways at the lower branches. The current way to treat COPD is using drugs known as bronchodilators, which are just muscle relaxants for the muscles of the upper airway. But these can't actually affect the lower airways where most of the problem is, because those airways have no muscle to target. Next slide, please. Our patented pulsator system uses a series of dynamic air pressure pulses at different frequencies that can do two things. First of all, these pulses vibrate their way down to closed airways, repeatedly pushing at the opening until they gently pop back open. Second, the vibrations lower the viscosity of the mucus that may be clogging the airways, like shaking a bottle of ketchup. These synergistic effects are clinically proven to improve patients. Next slide, please. In a randomized placebo-controlled study, Pulsator produced more than 4 times the increase in walking capacity than the placebo device, and more than double what clinicians consider to be a meaningful clinical improvement in just 2 weeks of treatment. Pulsator also produced significant improvements in lung function and quality of life. These important results were published in the Journal of COPD. Next slide, please. We are planning submissions to the FDA and CE very shortly, with commercial launch of Pulsator planned by the end of this year. And we just received our first approval by Health Canada to treat recovering COVID patients. Next slide, please. Our business model is straightforward, selling devices and consumables to patients and hospitals. In some markets, we sell directly. In other markets, we work through distributors. For example, in China, where we have a distribution partnership already with Vincent Medical. We are currently in discussions with a major multinational about a strategic distribution partnership covering other parts of the world. Next slide, please. We have a top-notch team to execute on this, with over 125 years of experience in medical devices and a hands-on board of advisors with tremendous depth in the marketing of respiratory medical devices.
1 more minute.
Next slide. Next slide. Our IP portfolio consists of 15 issued patents already, with more coming down the pipe, together with encrypted software algorithms for controlling the pulsator. Next slide, please. We are currently raising a Series B round, which will carry us through CE, FDA, and Chinese FDA approval, and through launch in Europe, US, and China, plus Canada for the COVID application. As a bridge to the Series B, we are currently raising $1.5 million, which will get us through CE mark and to a close of the Series B. If anyone is interested, please contact me directly. I would like to conclude by thanking the organizers of this great event, and with that, I'm happy to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cliff, and I directly give it to the investors. So any questions that are coming in for Cliff? So Q&A is popping up. Let me see. So from Stefan from Hightech Grunderfonds, did you also see positive long-term effects regarding quality of life in the mentioned study or afterwards?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question. Could you repeat it?
Yes, Stefan from HTGF is asking, did you also see positive long-term effects regarding quality of life in the mentioned study or afterwards?
Right. So yes, we did see quality of life improvements as measured by standardized quality of life questionnaires. The first trial we did was 2 weeks, and we also did see cumulative or increasing results as the 2 weeks went on. We're just launched another trial now in COPD, which is going to run 6 weeks, and we'll be able to measure more longer term benefits. But the results seem to be increasing even at the end of the 2 weeks that we did.
Okay. Another question
I should add it's a daily therapy. So that means that the results can continue to accumulate.
Okay. Another question is coming from Raul from Ysios Capital. Have you compared Pulse-Haler with existing treatments? How would you position it in the treatment algorithm?
Sure. So the current treatment is 95% built around drugs, and the results that we saw were incremental beyond the results that one can get with drugs. We know this because the baseline for everybody entering the study was they were already on best medical management, so the best drugs money can buy, and they continued during the study on that medical treatment so that whatever we were measuring was above and beyond what they can get with current standard of care.
Okay, then Diana from Panakes is asking, what is the data set needed for FDA approval? Anything longer than 1 week? Question mark.
Good question. It's actually a class 2 device, so no data is required at all for the approval. 95% of class 2 devices do not require data. Data is for prescribers, marketing, and market differentiation, but not for regulatory approval in this case.
Okay, then Patrick from Industrifonden is asking, first of all, thank you, Cliff. Can you elaborate on how your continued product roadmap looks like? And are you combining your device with any software and or data collection opportunities?
So the data collection part is really about patient compliance, and that we are collecting, but our product roadmap consists of expanding the air pressure pulses as a treatment into combining it with drug delivery. So we did a second study, which I didn't have time to go into in the 4-minute presentation, where we showed that if you open the airways with Pulse-Haler while you deliver those inhaled therapies, the inhaled therapies actually go into the lung much deeper and work much better, so that we have an opportunity in future product roadmap to do combination products of our pulsating technology with drug delivery.
Okay, thank you very much, Cliff. So 3 minutes are over. We have all questions solved here. If further questions come up, please reach out to Cliff via direct chat or let me know, and I'm more than happy to schedule another meeting for Sofinnova with one of our investors. So thank you very much, Cliff. And actually, we have now one company left that wasn't able to present. That was Omnispirant. Omnispirant, Gary, have you solved your technical issues? I see something is happening with your camera.
If you can hear me,
can you speak?
We've got there just in time. Perhaps.
Yes, Gary, we can hear you.
Sure. So, well, let's give it a go.
So we can see the presentation, but I can't hear you, Gary.
Yeah, and can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you, and I open the presentation for you.
Yes, Jan. Yeah. Yes, we can hear.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
okay, now I can hear you too. Let me know.
Sure. I'll have to prompt you to move on the slides, please. So I'll start. So good morning, everybody. I'm Jerry McCauley, the CEO of Omnispirant. We're developing a new treatment for COVID-19 associated acute respiratory distress syndrome. And this same treatment could also be game-changing for COPD patients. And it's based on our proprietary exosome delivery and bioengineering technologies. Next slide, please. So lung diseases will kill 1 in 5 of us, and ARDS is responsible for the vast majority of COVID-19 deaths. Luckily, we're in the age of advanced therapeutics, so there is hope, but the delivery of cell and gene therapies remains a major barrier to success, particularly so for lung diseases. Our inhaled exosome platform unlocks true game-changing potential to treat many devastating lung diseases. Next slide, please. So, ARDS has a baseline prevalence of over 3 million cases globally per year, and this has risen dramatically due to COVID-19. Next slide. And COPD is a major problem, growing and of unprecedented scale, affecting hundreds of millions of patients with no effective treatment options. So it's clear we're tapping into 2 multi-billion euro markets. Next slide, please. Our platform gives us unfair technological advantage as regards to delivery, efficacy, and safety when compared to the state-of-the-art vectors for inhaled gene therapies. Next slide, please. So here we see, this is our data showing our engineered exosomes, these tiny pink and red dots, which have clearly defeated the mucus layer barriers and cell membrane defenses of lung cells. And in this same in vitro model, the state-of-the-art viral vectors will struggle to get into 30% of cells. Next slide, please. Stem cell exosomes. We've already seen third-party validation of intravenously delivered stem cell exosomes in COVID-19 ARDS patients. We can build on this in two ways. Firstly, by genetic engineering of the stem cells, we can produce exosomes which provide disease-targeted gene therapy. And secondly, we'll get improved delivery into the lungs, as you've seen in the last slide, through the inhaled route of administration and our proprietary surface engineering technology. Next slide, please. So we're looking at a combination product. On the device side, we're working with Aerogen, who have a proven aerosol delivery technology. The regenerative gene therapy exosomes are bioengineered to contain microRNAs and antimer, which will target several key genes and pathways which are involved in ARDS and COPD pathogenesis. As well as that, we use HTERT therapeutically to reverse cellular senescence, a hallmark of both diseases. Next slide, please. So we have comprehensive product development plans, which will allow us to reach the clinic in just 24 months. These have been evaluated by international expert evaluators in a major grant award. From there, we intend to use licensing to get a partnered route to market. Next slide, please. So we have a core management team in place with vast experience. Next slide. And we're working with world-class development partners on the aerosol device side, but also in GMP ATMP manufacturing and clinical translation of advanced therapeutics specific to acute respiratory distress. Next slide, please. So we're seeking 20 million of funding to cover a 3-year operational runway. We've received major grant award funding of over 12 million euros of non-dilutive funding. So we seek 8 million of investment to develop our platform, showing the game-changing potential in ARDS with clinical data and completing our COPD and separate cystic fibrosis preclinical development programs. We also want to
ask you to finish.
Yeah, high-margin, scalable GMP manufacturing of these products, suitable for the treatment of millions of patients. So thank you, and we're open to questions and hope to connect better later on through Zoom with some of the investors present here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gary. Very well done. Let's move over to the questions. The first one, I think, is coming in right now. Again, from Patrick. Well, let me open it up. Well done on security soft funding. Can you elaborate on your IP strategy?
Yeah, so our intellectual property, we're undergoing international preliminary examination now. So we can develop on this platform virtually unlimited composition of matter patents based on different therapeutics. So our IP position is very solid at the moment, and we'll build greatly on it during this development program. We have a very good strategy. I can't elaborate too much, but I can say that also the device side, by partnering with Aerogen, they have a very deep intellectual property portfolio, which adds a further layer of protection to our products.
Okay. Then I have another one received from Stefan from Hightech Grunderfonds. What is the first program that you plan to have in the clinic, and which proof do you have for the mechanism of action?
So the mechanism of action, we've already seen that allogeneic stem cell exosomes work in COVID-19 ARDS patients. Now we expect a much greater mechanism of action. We have built some data on cell engineering to produce exosomes carrying the specific microRNAs that we are looking at for enhancing therapeutic effects. So yeah, we intend to get into the clinic in ARDS patients with or without COVID-19, and our preclinical development program supports that.
Okay. Any other questions to Gary? We have time for one more question. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Then thank you very much, Gary, for presenting.
Please, lucky to get there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone for the really good presentations we saw, and really sorry again for the technical issues we are facing. Hopefully you saw some interesting companies, and also thank you to our investor jury for your active participation so far. I now want to move over to the winner ceremony. While I open a poll in a second, I also want to ask our investor jury to send me your ranking of the 6 companies you saw in decreasing order, beginning with your favorite pitch, either via private chat or email. Good luck to all the entrepreneurs, and in between we will have a short presentation from my colleague Diana. She will share some content on the business acceleration services, and afterwards we will hear Mike from Wolf Summit with a short presentation, including the presentation of the price. So Diana, you can now take it over.
Hello, thank you very much. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, because I hear myself in the headset, so it's a bit annoying. I will try nevertheless to do the presentations. Thank you very much to Jan. I would like first to congratulate the companies for their excellent pitches. Thank our partner Wolf Summit for the generous prize, the jury members for their active presence, and to the entire audience for attending our session. I would like to apologize for the technical problems. This is not the technical solution that we are usually using, but we are trying to do the best with what we have haven't been offered. So let me start. I think all of you are familiar with the EIC, but for those that just jumped in, I would briefly present it. So EIC is a one-stop shop for researchers, innovators, entrepreneurs, providing support from the idea stage all the way to the market entry. To cover the 2 key dimensions of the innovation process, EIC is using 2 instruments: the EIC Pathfinder to support early applied research with grants up to 4 million euro, and EIC Accelerators to support the commercialization and scale up of innovative companies with grants up to 2.5 million euros and equity up to 15 million euros. The equity is managed by the newly created EIC fund, and a very interesting presentation will follow about it later on this channel. Until the end of the year, EIC has a budget of 3 billion euros, but for the next framework program, Horizon Europe, the period 2021-2027, an impressive amount of 10 billion euros is being discussed. However, in addition to money, the program supports companies and researchers with personalized coaches and business acceleration services. We have more than 5,500 companies in our portfolio from 38 countries, Western Europe, Nordic countries, Israel, and we are trying to attract more Eastern companies. The companies have been awarded so far more than 2.7 billion euro in grants and almost 600 million euro in equity, which is, of course, subject to due diligences. The program is a bottom-up without topics, but the sectors mostly represented are health, energy, and ICT. In terms of performance, we track several indicators. One of them, and a very important one, is the amount of follow-up investments raised by companies that were funded by ANAS. And this amount is more than 5 billion euros so far. This means that each euro provided by the program managed to leverage around 3 euros of private investments. We already have 17 companies in the portfolio that went public and 43 that have been acquired by large corporates. We track other indicators, of course, such as valuation, operating revenues, employees, etc., but limited time doesn't allow me to present them all. We will share the link of the freshly published impact report in the chat so you can read it at your ease. As mentioned earlier, EIC is much more than money. It's actually about connecting the companies with the right business partner, financial partner, procurer, and this is what we are doing under business acceleration services. Under the Investor Partnership Program, we provide the EIC-funded companies access to upstanding investors of different types, VCs, CVCs, business angel, family offices, etc. New learnings such as pitching training for companies, information on how to go public, networking and one-to-one meetings facilitated by us like the ones that we will organize this afternoon. Last but not least, visibility on our social network, but also of our partners, and in some cases, like this event, some very generous prices from our partners. For investors, the most important benefit is access to pre-selected and funded companies by our program, possibility to co-invest in the blended finance ones together with the EIC fund, subject to due diligence, but also access to different category of investors with whom they wouldn't be necessarily in contact. In more than 2 years, we organized more than 24 events, live or online, or where more than 160 companies pitched. More than 80% of companies were satisfied by events, and we identified 20% follow-up discussions. We have a network of 150 upstanding partners, such as top-tier VCs, stock exchanges, CVCs, associations of business angels. You can see some of them now in the right side of the slide, but they are also represented by the jury member in these sessions where we have Sofinnova, Panakes, Industrifonden, Wealth Summit, HTGF, Kurma Partners, and Capricorn, and many others. I would like to conclude by presenting you the events foreseen for the next month, and there is a tip. This event for the Green Deal is open for application until next week for the EIC-funded companies. And I would like to invite you, if you are interested as investor, to join our events, to contact us either via the functional mailbox, or you have, I think, the address on this platform, or via our community, where we publish success stories about our companies and also all the events. Thank you very much to all of you. Back to Jan to hear who is the winner. Thank you.
So thank you, Diana. Actually, I want to give it to Mike first because I'm missing 2 more investor jury votes from Patrick, Industrifonden, and Rahul, Ysios. So please send me your vote in the next 2 minutes so I can consider them for final vote. In between, I closed the poll here, so I already have this result. And with that said, I want to hand it over to Mike from Wolf Summit.
Mike, are you ready?
So Mike, can you hear us? Okay. Can you start sharing your presentation or video?
Thanks a lot, guys, for your work today. Having organised a number of virtual events in the last 5 months, I fully sympathise with you. It's a very difficult process. Just to give you a quick prelude about Wolf Summit, it started 5 years ago in the city of Gdansk in Poland, where a couple of hundred participants took place. It then quickly moved to Warsaw in Poland, where it grew to 2,500 delegates per event. Traditionally, we would host it twice per year, every October and every March. I'm going to show you now the video from our October event of last year before the COVID struck. So I'm loading and playing this. Please let me know if
so far we've found this has been the most time efficient way to raise money.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so sadly that was last year, and then 10 days before the March edition of our conference, we were forced to pivot to a fully virtual offering, which I'm happy to say we did so very successfully. And we're now just 10 days away from our October edition, which is going to be a hybrid model. So 200 to 300 participants in Warsaw at the Palace of Culture and Science. We also very luckily have the Cambridge Innovation Centre hosting us for our evening VIP events, where it's going to be investors and startups matchmaking and mingling over drinks and canapes. We expect, as I said, 200 to 300 participants in Warsaw, and then over 1,000 digital participants on the Hopin platform. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing who the winner from today will be, Jan. And the prize that we're offering to the winner is an expenses paid trip to Warsaw in 10 days for our event.
Okay, thank you very much. Great presentation, great prize for the winner. And I'm actually very well prepared for the winner's ceremony. So I just need to share my screen. So here we go. Can you all see my screen? Yes?
No, yeah.
Okay, then I want to announce the winner. The winner of today's session is Respinnova. Congratulations to Cliff. He received most votes from the jury together with Omnis Byrant of second place. And he was also, Respinnova was also the winner of the audience score. So the scoring system was top 1 selection was 6 points, top 6 selection was 1 point. So I added up the points. Here you can see the total score for all the companies. I think they all did very, very well. So Respinnova, congratulations for having the pitch of today, but also congratulations to all the other companies that have presented today. It was a really hard session, I know, with the technical problems, but you did all very well. And as I said, for companies and investors, I'm more than happy to connect you outside of the event, set up another Zoom meeting, go for one-to-one meetings. I will reach out to you anyways after the session and see what we can do for you. So thanks again for all the great presentations and for our jury members, for asking questions, for participating, for voting for their companies. Yeah, Respinnova, Cliff, you will receive the prize from Wolf Summit, but you will also receive a dissemination opportunity.
And if you can, please open the camera so yeah, we can see you
via the EIC. My colleague Trisper will reach out to you and set something up. So congratulations again, and also congratulations.
Very well done, Cliff. I've got your WhatsApp details and email from the chat, so I will follow up with you directly.
Sorry? And also congratulate one-to-one or follow-up meetings. Maybe we can start directly at 12 p.m. I already know that some
Cliff, we still have 3 minutes, so if you'd like to open your camera and all the others,
some investors
now it's
already
it's okay, and we can okay, I understand. So yeah, we can have another photo, virtual photo for our article that will follow this event. I would like to thank you also everybody very much. I had very big issues when I was presenting. I hope you could hear me well. Because I could hear myself in the headset, and I would like to thank you for the patience and also for the flexibility and being with us. We invite the investor to join also the other events and to connect with the companies, and we will support you definitely to connect with the companies. And we are very grateful that you have joined for the session. Thank you very much for to the companies for pitching in this difficult sometimes circumstances. We highly appreciate your resilience and your passion, and we hope to see you also in other events. And thank you very much to everybody, and congratulations to everybody. I hope you will have fruitful meetings after the events. And in any case, the investors, I remind you, you have the pager with the contact of the companies, but don't hesitate to contact us if you'd like to be put in contact with a certain company. We'll certainly arrange this. Thank you very much from my side.
Thank you.
And Cliff, just to remind you that you will have an interview for the article with our communication manager. Thank you very much. As I was mentioning, there will be, for the investor, it might be interesting if you are still in, to know that there will be, I think, in about 15 minutes, a presentation of the EIC fund that I was mentioning to you. They are managing the equity part, and I think there will be an interesting presentation. if you can connect. It will not be this link, but you can go on the big RNI days, and you can go in the web number 8. So and from there you should be able to go to the Take Me to Policy conference. And then to go to the EIC web, and you should see there the coming sections, the coming presentation. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, I think we can disconnect now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day and fruitful meetings. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.